t-shirt.
Oh shit! That's cool.
Right.
Oh
Okay.
my God, this is
Already our
absolute.
favorite interviewer already with your
Smashing.
merch. I love this.
You y'all have no idea how much that means to me. I let's get this started. I am Swara Saleh, with the Nerds of Color, talking with the absolutely brilliant Anjana Vasan and Sarah Kameela Impey of one of my favorite series of all time, We Are Lady Parts. How are you two doing today?
We're so happy to be here. Thank
Yeah,
you
we
so much for
are.
the amazing introduction. And we love your t-shirt.
You're amazing.
Thank you so much. I aim to embody Bashir with a good beard.
You
Um,
do have a great beard, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you
Giving
so
cheer.
much.
We love it. Yeah.
I
Did
can't believe I'm
you?
talking with you both. So I absolutely loved this season, even more than the first, which I absolutely loved. I didn't even think that was possible, but y'all and Nida and the whole team made it possible. So, what was the experience of shooting series two compared to series one?
Oh, it
Oh,
was, yeah. Go on, Ed.
no. Sarah, you go, you go.
Oh, yeah, it was such an amazing experience. I think we had created such a bond, and our chemistry was so strong from the first season, and all the way in between when we were waiting to hear about it. We were supporting each other, going to each other's shows. The bond never broke, so it was just like waiting for us to have the opportunity to come back together. So when we knew it was happening, oh, it just filled my heart to know I was going to be with the girls again and get to make this music and tell the characters' stories and for them to actually get to live a little longer. I think we all just want to know where they're going to end up and are they going to stay together and what music will they make next? Yeah, I was
It,
so
it was
happy.
obviously a wait before after season one, but I think actually what happened is that we just poured so much love and energy into the show, into perfecting it rather than like, because we had to wait so long to make it. And we were determined for a show like this not to just be a one season show that happened and it was a bit of an anomaly. We needed this show to have another season. And, we had all these little conversations with Nida, but we had no sense of where she was going to take it. But what she'd done so brilliantly was take a bit of everything that we said and infused it with her own imagination and wit. And kind of give every single person this incredible arc, but also the band as a whole this incredible story and like huge existential question of like who they are and what they mean and what does their music mean in the world and what kind of world do they want to like try and engineer with their music. And it just felt like it packed so much into a 6-part 20-minute comedy. Like it's amazing, and it was such a joy to make that I think it hopefully you sense that watching it as well.
Absolutely. As we all know, Nida is a genius and she's able to do that. But like just like you said, Anjana, like this season in particular, it's about the place of artistry, of being an artist. Both of your characters, to one degree or another, goes through that journey questioning what is my place as an artist here. How did each of you relate to that, of your respective characters? And what do you think this season has to say to artists watching and discovering their own craft and place?
I think that ultimately, and I think it's something that's so actually so about the punk attitude that the show also does, which is you have to make art on your own terms. And I think people know when you're being dishonest with your work. I think people know when the intentions are don't match up the kind of work, and the messaging if they don't add up. And I think every person's idea of success is different. And I think that's a question that I always have for myself. There are times when I turn down jobs because they're big money jobs, because I want to do a play that's paying me, £2.50 a week or whatever. I mean, I'm being facetious, but I'm not doing it for money, but I want to do this play because I want to do the story. And I think you have to understand, and it's not to say that people who do jobs because of money that it's wrong, but you have to understand for yourself what makes you happy. Because if you pursue something because it looks like success from the outside, but doesn't feel like success on the inside, you're just never going to be happy. So that's a question that I don't think will ever go away. We're always having to navigate those questions as a freelancer. because you're always having to pick and choose from the opportunities that are presented in front of you. And I think all of those questions are wrapped up so beautifully and complexly, if that's a word, in season 2. I'm just making out words.
I really like that. Yeah, I think as well, it's such a, it really touches on this kind of generational idea of representation within art. You know, it's no one person's job to represent all of the people that come under any umbrella that they're
Yeah.
representing. And I think that in art as well is really important to say, yes, focus on lived experience, focus on your circumstances, but everyone's is different. So it's important just to learn from each other and grow in that way. And I think that's what the band is doing. Especially Saira is influenced by all these different people, whereas she's trying throughout the series just to come back to what it is originally that she is supposed to be saying. Yeah.
We see that Amina is really struggling this season with trying to fit into a sort of looser mold that she had set for herself at the end of series 1. And she struggles with it inside and outside of the band. So, why do you think it's so hard for her to achieve balance in her life?
I think she spent so much of growing up in season 1, you know, shrinking and being in a shell and apologizing for her existence. So now that she's like kind of come out of it and found her voice musically and as a person, even the confidence is like trying on a new suit and doesn't quite fit in. Like she's still trying it on for size. So like almost like a pair of new shoes, she has to break into it a little bit, because she's never been that way. She's never just spoken up for herself and just said what she wants to say. So I think even the confidence thing is like a new persona, but it's not totally herself yet. And I think there's this lovely journey that she goes on with her best friend, played by Aisha Hart. And she talks about how much she maybe projected shame onto Amina. And I do think it's true of like our friendships, and female friendships can be very complicated, and like how people treat you growing up. Sometimes you feel like it's hard for you to be yourself because people want you to just be who you are and not change. And I think that's very true. And I think that's something that Amina is realizing herself. And so she has a few wrong steers before she finds her balance. And I think she finds her balance not just in a vacuum. I think the band help her. And I think her journey, I mean, she has a bit of a rom-com storyline in season 2. And I think, allowing other people in means that she can then find her own voice in a more confident, assured way.
Yeah, absolutely. And the aspect of still finding her place and these different female friendships, like it applies across the band. They really go through some sort of flux this season. And it really seems to come from these, without giving too much away, it comes from these outside pressures as they find themselves now in the music industry. And it just that sort of adjustment. So, Sarah, what can you tease for the audience about how the band will be going through that in series 2?
Yeah, I guess without too many spoilers, it's to say, I think from Saira's past, she has all these ideas of how she wants things to look, a producer she really wants to work with, a recording studio she really wants to record in. So it's just what it takes to get there. Obviously, money is always an issue, and Lady Parts is so DIY in the way that they work. It's how can they still make the money and make these dreams come true while being themselves and being organic and not feeding into the capitalistic kind of imperial way of living. So I think, yeah, they're going through all of that while, yeah, having to make some really tough decisions that's right for everyone. And I think that's where we get so much tension, because what's right for one person isn't always, good for the rest of the band. So they really have to have those tough conversations.
And it'll be up to our audience to see how that unfolds.
Mhm.
Anjana Vasan, Sarah Kameela Impey, this was an absolute honor. I love the show so much. All of y'all are absolutely brilliant. There's so much I wish I could talk to y'all about, but then we just get into spoilers. People have to watch this season. But I just like want to thank you and the entire cast and crew and Nita for this just brilliant. We love it so much. We want it to go on for like at least another 5 or so seasons, inshallah. And yeah, just thank you all so much. This was an absolute joy, and congratulations on series 2. And I think fans are gonna love it.
Oh, that
Thank
means so
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
That's
You
so
are
lovely.
Take
Thank you so
care.
much.
Directors, comments and the lectures, fanboys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC.